grace and peace. I am Pastor Adrienne, and I have sermons from a hat. I asked people to give me a name or a word or something that relates to our COVID reality, and I put all of those ideas in a hat. And in a moment here, I'm going to pull out an idea from the hat, and in that, I'm going to try to preach a 2-minute sermon. Now, you know, it's hard for us preachers to preach in 2 minutes because we're used to being really long-winded. But they say that the medium of the internet, you usually don't have more than just 3 minutes to be able to get somebody's attention, and then they've lost it already. So here we have a 2-minute sermon, and it's based on this idea. I haven't seen it before. It is based on distant. So as we think about who we are, we think about the space that's between us, and we seem more distant than we used to be. We seem farther away. We have our 6-foot boundary between other people. And wouldn't you know, we're people who were created for touch. We're people who were created to be in relationship and with community. In community, when God created Adam in the Garden of Eden, he was alone, and he was caring for all the things that he needed to care for. And God looked down at that and said, it's not good. Adam needs a helper. And so he created Eve. As the story from Genesis goes, we were created to not be distant. And so you see, even though we are in this idea of distance, we are separating ourselves, and we have our nice boundary between us and others. We need to be intentional about finding ways to connect, because as we connect to one another, we connect to God. And as we connect to God, we connect to one another. And so us making that intentional time of connection, of closing those distances in any way that we can, will fuel and feed our faith, will give us the strength we need to be able to handle the isolation. I pray today for my hugging friends, for those who are isolated alone. I pray today for those who are distant and feel away from God. May you feel God's presence close. May you feel my love for you. May you feel God's arms surrounding you. Grace and peace as you go out this day. Amen.